If you need any Xbox or PlayStation codes or anything gaming related, check the referral links down in the description. They'll take you to g2a.com. They already have a discount on most of their goods already, and with the code CHES at checkout, you can get yourself an extra 3% off as well.
Hey guys, how's it going? Chez back again, and welcome to episode number 115 of the Career Mode Road to Glory here on FIFA 15. We start with a home game against Arsenal. We've already played Chelsea, we've already played Tottenham, Manchester City and Manchester United. Question is, can we get a decent result against the red side of North London? Obviously, we played Tottenham earlier on in the season and lost 1-0, and they currently sit above us in the table. They're top, we're second though, having an extraordinary start to this season after all of the fantastic acquisitions we made in the summer have really hit the ground running. No less so than Tequilo Ranti, a fantastic signing up top for us, scoring in almost every single game, at least averaging a goal a game, if not scoring in every game. If he misses one, he'll just score 2 in the next. So coming up against a decent Arsenal side, although they've got Yaya Sanogo up top. Don't really understand that particular selection choice from Arsene Wenger, but regardless, we're going to start off on top. In fact, opening 2 minutes or so, Georgiev goes down and actually has to stay down injured, and I was just kind of waiting for the game to pause and enforce me to make the substitution, but it carried on. Committed to the challenge there, the defender. Ranti ducks inside the box, turns Koscielny and puts us 1-0 up after 2 minutes 46 seconds. I didn't even expect a chance to come from that. I was just waiting to have to make a substitution. And whilst Georgiev is still on the floor, we've gone and scored. So Ranti gets his first goal of today's episode. It's Nicholas Spauller coming down the left-hand side, just tearing Jenkinson, a new arsehole, whips the ball in, and Georgiev, despite being injured, rises above everybody else to make it Cambridge 2, Arsenal 0, after just 8 minutes. What even is this start here? We're going to have a third chance now. Jenkins Chikowi coming down the right-hand side. Turns inside, stands it up. Georgiev again with a header, this time off the bar. So close to making it 3-0. In the end, I had to take Georgiev off for Fabian Cassada because I just didn't want to risk him getting, injured for an even longer period. But Tadic drew a good save out of Kieran Westwood there. And Arsenal started to grow back into the game after being kind of sat back and penned in for the opening 15-20 minutes or so. They particularly improved in the second half. As you can see, Joel Campbell into Carl Jenkinson, Carlos Bacca to Tadic, Tadic to Walcott, and watch this finish. So, I don't know whether it's arrogant or just a cocky finish or confident finish, just scoops it with the outside of his right foot into the back of the net via the near post. Disappointed with Kieran Westwood, but it just probably got completely done by the way that Walcott took that shot. Didn't expect it, and they're back in the game at 2-1. And then Sanchez has the shot. It's headed wide, but the defender in front of the goalkeeper decides to block it. Goalkeeper misses it, and I just could not react quick enough with Andy Kellett at left back to get out of the way, and he knocks it into the back of the net to make it 2-2 with an own goal. But then Callum Chambers gets really lax with possession there, tries to backheel it to Ramsey. We pick it off, Cassada picks up the loose ball, and we're back in front. It's Cambridge 3, Arsenal 2. They worked so hard to get themselves back in the game and then threw it all away with a defensive mistake. How stereotypically Arsenal do you want to get? We get 3 points at home against a side that were challenging us for second place. In the second game though, we're away from home this time against Hull City. Hopefully easier opposition, although obviously, unfortunately, this game came midweek after the weekend game against Arsenal, so I did have to make a few rotation changes to the side to actually ensure that we had at least a remotely 70% fit team out, because despite the fact that we have some decent players on our squad, their stamina for the entirety of the squad isn't that high, and it's something that we really struggle with. At the larger clubs, like in my Inter Milan career mode series, I don't have too much of an issue with stamina from game to game. Whereas in this series, I really do struggle. So as you can see, Jack Grealish in the starting lineup draws a very good save out of John Ruddy in the first highlight of the game. A top free kick. Unfortunately, though, that was his last action, having to come off on the stroke of half-time with an injury. So I had to make a decision. Do I bring on Nicholas Spauller, who's slightly tired, or do I bring on the youngster Briz? I decided to bring on Anton Briz. Nicholas Spauller, actually, it looks as if he had like 95% fitness there. It's weird. When you're in the pre-game team management screen, everybody looks as if they've got like 60% fitness. Then when you get in-game and go to make a substitution, their fitness all rises by like 10, 15, 20%. I don't really understand that. Like, if they're not fit to start, why should they be more fit to come on and play from the bench? don't understand it, but I went with Anton Bridge regardless. And as you saw there, we had a decent chance, flash just wide. Then Cassidy gets in behind after showing good strength, and he really should have done better with that finish. They gifted it to us from the free kick that they had, just played it straight to Kevin Schmidt, but Cassidy tried to just guide it into that bottom corner, got his angles all wrong, and unfortunately we stay at 0-0. Then they're going to pick up the ball in midfield. Diame gets it past the man. I tried to just reach around with Quinn, or reach around on Quinn with Adarabio to get to the ball. I just horribly mistimed it, and Adarabio, as you can see here, is going to get sent off. 60 minutes into the game, we're still half an hour to go away from home at the KC Stadium. We're down to 10 and cue Hull pressure. Sone Aluko whips the ball in. Nias can't quite win it there with Gabbiadini. It drops to Stephen Quinn though, into Diame, not Diaby, and Fabian Torres makes a very good save. It's a very similar save to all of the ones he seems to make when they're going up towards that top corner. He kind of saves them with his wrist or his forearm rather than actually with his hands. But Niasi plays through Abel Hernandez here. This time Fabian Torres rooted to the spot. Couldn't do anything about it, but fortunately for me, shot was well wide of the post, and we continue up the other end. Cassidy gets a stroke of luck there. Advantage given. Trying to race away. Defender on his shoulder. Gets past him. Has the shot, but a top save by John Ruddy. We could have stolen all 3 points there with the last kick of the game with 10 men. Unfortunately, though, it wasn't to be. So we get a 0-0 draw away from home against Hull City after a 3-2 victory against Arsenal. Swings and roundabouts, you win some, you lose some. 0-0 was the scoreline in that one, and we head into the game at home again against West Brom this time, trying to come away with a better performance and a better scoreline with a more recognisable first team this time around. Obviously, Kevin Schmidt and Fabian Cassidy into the starting lineup for the still not necessarily fully fit Georgiev, and Ranti is one of the players. So you get the odd player every now and again in career mode that just does not regain stamina. Ranti, unfortunately, is appearing to be that man. So whenever he does play, he scores. Unfortunately, I'm not able to play him as often as I want him to. They're playing a very stereotypical 4-4-2 formation with Hanane and Berahino up top. Now, obviously, Soda Berahino is going to be a thorn in my side here. Pace, strength, dribbling ability, and a top finisher as well. But we get off to a decent start here. At least we're going to start with the opening chance, although it doesn't quite hit the target the same way that we were able to do in the early stages against Arsenal. 2 minutes in, we stay at 0-0. Graham Dorrans and Junior Hoyler in their midfield, playing the ball around for them, and actually a good save by Kieran Westwood to get that away, and we were able to recover it with the defender there to stop it from going out for a corner as well. But Nicholas Spaller on the attack for us. Nice little ball roll and then Maradona turn. Gets a little bit lucky with the way the ball breaks to him there, but he's going to eventually try and have the shot. Draws a good save out of the keeper. I thought it might have taken a deflection off the man that was kind of trying to jump over it in front of the keeper and take a deflection and go in. It didn't quite work like that. Kevin Schmidt, though, shrugs off the defender, but Luke Davies makes another fantastic save. It may even be Ian Davies, I'm not entirely too sure. What I do know though, he is the guy, if you remember, that we had in our shortlist that was glitched, and he's like 84 or 85 rated despite being 31 or 32 years of age, and he starts the game in like the late 50s, early 60s. One of those glitched goalkeepers that seems to happen more often than not, weirdly, in career mode this year, which is very strange. But Cassidy draws another good save out of him here to maintain the scoreline at 0-0. We continue to come forward though. I was determined to try and get the ball past him. Gruezo has Spaller in space here, try and nail it at the near post, doesn't quite work, drops to Gruezo again, and he can't find the target with the open goal to aim at. Ian Davies or Luke Davies, whichever his name is, Davies, we call him, just call him Davies, is on the floor. Can't find the way through. Can't find the way through. 2 back-to-back 0-0 draws, which is disappointing after beating Arsenal, but Tottenham faltered as well. So they only got 1 point from the 3 games that they played in today's episode, and we got 5 points from today's episode. So we do sit now, after 13 games, top of the Barclays Premier League table. It can and probably will all change between now and the end of this season though, and I'm fully prepared for that to happen. We've had a couple of injuries recently, and I'm kind of wary that we're going to get a few more, because the game does like to throw injuries at me left, right and centre. But for now, we will enjoy being top of the Barclays Premier League. Spurs, Arsenal, Liverpool and Chelsea sat behind us. Both Manchester clubs yet to rise up into the European spots, and you know damned well that that is going to happen at some point this season. So we'll enjoy it whilst it lasts, but it probably won't last too long. But we have made some significant improvements in the squad this year, so who knows, maybe it will last a little bit longer longer than we expect. We'll have to wait and see, but that is going to bring today's episode to a close. Thank you very much for watching. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed, of course. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to make sure you don't miss out on any further FIFA content. There will be a Football Manager stream over on my Twitch later on this evening, so check the link in the description to that and follow me on Twitter as well. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.